the first weekly refresh in Season 6 of Modern Warfare, and this week we've got some cool things being introduced, but does it top last week's seasonal refresh? Absolutely not, and especially with the beta this week and next for Black Ops Cold War. The items of discussion are going to be a little less, simply because the focus in the COD and marketing world will be on the next title, with Black Ops Cold War, of course, taking that main stage. So while we still have new things to discuss, and admittedly some pretty cool ones, they aren't those grandiose items that may turn heads of those not necessarily interested in Modern Warfare right now in the hopes of re-piquing their interest. They're just kind of there. Today we're going to be breaking down everything that changed within the first update of Season 6 and let you know all that you need to so you can jump into the game and start the week and then maybe switch over to Black Ops Cold War's beta if you're on PlayStation 4 for this weekend. As we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you like this update this week? Were you hoping to see something in particular? Whatever it is, let me know down below. As well, if you are new to the channel, do be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare, Warzone, and Black Ops Cold War. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up, so we'll keep you in the loop for all of it. That said, let's jump into the content at hand. Firstly, I gotta say, we actually didn't have any weekly preview blog this week, so if there's anything that you're surprised by, well, same here. We had no prior knowledge of what was coming, so that's pretty cool, I guess, to see that there is truly some surprise here to it. As for the multiplayer side of things, let's start out with the playable aspects of the game. We saw another weekly refresh in terms of playlists, to which this week we have on offer Ground War, Blueprint Gunfight Customs, Face Off, Hardpoint Hills and Kills, and Throwbacks. Now, Ground War is, well, Ground War. Nothing's changed there. That's your standard traditional Ground War. Blueprint Gunfight Customs is gunfight utilizing weapon variants with customized attachments, so a slight spin on that usual gunfight that you'll see every single week. Face Off is that classic again, 3v3 modes on gunfight maps, no kill streaks and field orders allowed, but it is faster paced action on those smaller maps as opposed to the sort of one and done elimination style of traditional gunfight. Honestly, if you played Face Off in the past in Modern Warfare 3, you'll probably really like this one if you haven't tried it out already. I'm a huge fan of it, love jumping in and playing some of this, but then we also see Hardpoint Hills and Kills. This is the deathmatch domination variant of Hardpoint, where both objective score and kills count towards your overall team score. So you can slay out, you can play the objective, or better yet, you can play both, but you'll be helping your team any way you play. Now, I'm a fan of deathmatch domination, so I'll likely be jumping in here a little bit to get my hands-on experience with Hardpoint's variation of it. I'm incredibly excited for that. I like being able to do both slaying out and playing the objective, but if I can't necessarily get to that objective, I still can help the team out a little bit. Now, Throwbacks is this last playlist we have on offer here within MP, and it's actually a playlist that we hadn't seen mentioned at all in any of the Season 6 intel that we've seen beforehand, so this is a pleasant surprise. Now, this is a mosh pit of different modes on maps of Rust, Vacant, Scrapyard, and Hard Hat, taking some of those classics from the original Modern Warfare trilogy and wrapping them all into one playlist here with it. So, pretty cool new mosh pit for the nostalgia if you ask me, but on the Warzone side of things, jumping over from the MP side, once again, as with most Warzone changes in the weekly refreshes, we don't really have a whole ton of new stuff to discuss in relation to those playlist changes. These are usually more minute and on a lesser scale of things, and this week holds up for that. We do have Blood Money quads, but everything else is back to air quote normal, with solos, duos, trios, and quads in the traditional BR playlist, and then Armored Royale is also sticking around for another week as that sort of flagship LTM for Season 6, it seems. So if you like any of that stuff, you can definitely jump in. Like I mentioned in last week's Season 6 update video, I'm honestly not a huge fan of Armored Royale. I feel like it's something that takes away the core mentality of BR, and for whatever reason, man, I just couldn't get the hang of it. It just felt off to me. So you guys are totally fine to have your own thoughts and opinions on that, but as for this week, I might just be jumping into regular trios here and there, but I may actually be holding off until the Black Ops Cold War beta, at least for the Warzone side of things. It's not really pulling me back in here for this one. But as for the items that are also introduced on the front end, that includes items, as always, every week with the shop. This week, we actually saw some pretty cool looking blueprints. Functionally, though, there could be some better attachments, and we'll talk about that in a second. But firstly, I want to take a second to thank and shout out Grant, Joey, Juan, and Patrick for using code ESPRESSO in the shop and supporting the content here on the channel a little further. If you'd like to support the channel, feel free to use my code when picking up any bundles. And if you do, tweet me a picture. I'd love to shout some of you guys out for the support that you show. But anyways, this week we have 3 bundles added. 2 are guaranteed. 1 actually may just be user dependent since it was in my blueprint section, and as we talk about every single time this pops up, the featured are guaranteed to all players, but those ones in the operators, blueprints, and just for you aren't always guaranteed. So let's talk about the 3 that I saw here for this. In the featured, we have the Tracer Pack Skeletonized and the Talon Eagle Eye bundles. Now, the Tracer Pack Skeletonized was actually introduced into the files as of last season, but like the Mara Kawaii Cap bundle the season before that, in Season 4, it wasn't introduced until that next season. So now, for 1,400 COD points, you end up getting the Wages of Sin M4 Blueprint, the Face of Evil Charm, the Skull Pile Rover Skin, the Takata and Fugue Vehicle Horn, the Cursed Calling Card, and the Vulture Emblem. Now, while the Vehicle Horn can make for some comical times, the most practical item and what I'm sure you're interested in the most if you see this bundle is that new Tracer M4. Now, I think this blueprint is brilliant looking, not gonna lie. The matte black and the metallic red feel great, plus who doesn't love tracers? But my only concern with this build is that it's the tack light barrel. If you want to use the M4 in any sort of competitive nature, MP or Warzone, the tack light barrel is just about the worst possible choice you could have for any of that. Now, it's a solid MP build otherwise with the Commando foregrip, stippled grip tape, and Forge Tack CQS, but I'd definitely suggest changing the barrel. Now, that of course does come down to changing the design. You end up losing a little bit out on that, but if you have it, I found the Mind of the Beast blueprint works decently for that Corvus Custom Marksman barrel blueprint, but it does detract from the design a little bit still. Now, I gotta say, this is where blueprint camos being universal across even just entire weapons, not even all weapons, but like taking the camo and applying it just to that weapon would be awesome. But alas, they're not able to do that. But that's available in the shop as of right now. Then the new operator bundle of the Talon Eagle Eye is available for 2,000 COD points, coming with the Motu Nui Talon skin, the Ern SKS, the Agretti Fennec skin, the Crow Feather Charm, the Join the Dead Quip, the Night Hunt Calling Card, the Eagle Crest Emblem, and the Aerial Barrage Spray. And yes, I know I probably butchered the pronunciations of all of those, but overall, again, not a bad pack if you're interested in this kind of stuff. I'm not a huge fan of the SKS. I wouldn't really use that one. The Fennec blueprint, though, looks pretty cool. I'd just tweak a couple of things here and there with that, but other than that, the skin itself for Talon does look pretty cool. So again, if it piques your interest, that's there as well. The final thing that I saw, again, may not be guaranteed to you, but showed up in my shop was that of the Prototype 661, which is something that was introduced for Season 6, so it is a new blueprint bundle here with this, but it continues that theme of other prototype builds like we saw with the M4 had a build like this as well. But this comes along for 1,200 COD points and includes the Electra AN94, the Diacritic X16, the Silhouetted Calling Card, and the Static Shock Emblem. Now, from a design perspective, I love this AN94. I'm not really one that uses the AN94 all that much, but I might have to start because it looks pretty sweet. The only thing that I think will give me a hard time here at this, the companies might. Battle Pass blueprint from last season was Tracers. This is not, so that'll be a toss-up here for me on this one. But both of those weapons look incredibly good if you ask me in terms of design, so I'm there for it. But that's the shop introductions that come along with this week's update and what actually closes out what all we have here on offer for this week's update. As it stands, it doesn't seem like there was anything behind the scenes or anything on the back end that was changed in terms of weapon adjustments or anything like that. So the only thing that may have popped up that you also may have noticed is that on the main menu now for PlayStation 4 users, there is a new tile that denotes the Black Ops Cold War beta that once you end up clicking on that, it will attempt to launch the application itself for the beta, but if you do not have it, well, it'll say it wasn't found, so they can go and look in the PlayStation Store for that, and of course then download it from there. But outside of that, that's all we have here this week. That's where we're at here and where we're gonna wrap it up. So I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of this update? Lackluster, something that you kind of expected given the Black Ops Cold War beta is later this week as well? Whatever it is, let me know your thoughts. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing. We're getting all things Modern Warfare, Warzone, and of course, Black Ops Cold War as we round into a pretty cool time coming up. So stick it here if you guys are interested. And if you also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Probably live on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.